Good morning, YouTube. It's the deck profile for the Counter Fairy deck I played at the January 18th Toronto Regionals. I went 5-4. My last two rounds were the two of the losses, so let's just get into it here. So I started off with one Banish for the Radiance, just an easily searchable card. Unfortunately, it's level 3, so it doesn't combo with everything else as well, but it is a good block out for a lot of decks with banishing everything that's sent to the graveyard. Next off, I played 2 Condemned Witch, one I had to borrow because not a lot of people are holding it these days. But it's a good card. One summon allows you to add a forbidden quick play spell card to your hand, and then during your main phase, you contribute it and special summon any level 4 fairy type monster from your deck, which is most of them, and it really helps get the deck rolling as well as plussing off of it. Next, of course, I played 3 Bountiful Artemis to give you the plus off of all your counter traps, a good card to bring out off of Condemned Witch to just give you that automatic summon from the deck, and of course really helps you get going with everything. Next time I played 1 Power Range of Valkyria, which lets you search anything when you activate counter trap once per turn, so allowing you to search stuff like Honest, your Bountiful Artemis for follow plays the next turn. It just really helps rebuild your hand and get out what you need at the time. And then also that goes with it, well, of course, it's Honest. I just chose to ran 2 of them because I am playing Demise in the deck, so you don't want to have it too often, but usually adding it off of Valkyria or other ways. Again, they're all lights in the deck, so of course protects them a battle while you're stopping your opponent from playing with other counter traps. I played, of course, the 3 Guiding Ariadne. In counter or in the scale, it stops you from having to pay life points or discard cards to activate any of your counter traps. And once destroyed by battle or card effect, it allows you to reveal 3 from your deck and put one into your hand. So, of course, it's a very essential part of the deck. It stops you from losing life points too fast, as well as getting your counter traps into your hand. And a card to go with that as well I chose to play was 2 Luster Pendulum into the Draco Slayer. So anyone who doesn't know what this does, it's big from the Pithead formats. So you can have, if you have another card in your other scale, you can destroy it to add one with the same name from your deck to your hand. So you destroy a Guiding Ariadne to add another one. So that gives you another Guiding Ariadne. On top of that as well, it'll activate effects to let you reveal the 3 counter traps, add one to hand. So it's a +2 when you have both of them. It can, of course, be a brick if you don't have Guiding Ariadne, but I just felt like it was too helpful to have otherwise. And plus, this is fairly searchable off of stuff like Guiding Valkyria, and you do draw a lot, and especially with Demise, it's easy to set in scale, so you're not having to discard it. And of course, the scales are 3 and 5, which means when you have these out, you can pendulum summon out level 4s from your hand or other Guiding Ariadnes from your extra deck after you've already been using the effect of Luster Pendulum, which did come up quite a few times, as I will show. And of course, we got the draw power. This was the last weekend playing 3-card Demise. That's why I chose to go with Counter Fairies. Really had to use it before I could. And I chose just to play 2 Pot of Duality, just to get more draws, but didn't want to max out too much, as well as Shared Ride. Again, lots of searching. It was the last weekend as well with the full, well, not full power, but probably a lot of the last weekends with Sky Striker out there, so just really gave you a lot of advantage while they're doing all searching, while you're still trying to stop their plays from going off too hard. So that's for the draw power there. We got 3 Ties of the Brethren. Great card whenever you get any of your level 4 fairies out. It allows you to bring out the other ones. And then, of course, Honest, you can just bounce back to your hand to protect the ones they have on the field. And 2 monsters that I actually did borrow as well that I forgot to mention in here was 2 of the Light Barrier statues, which is a level 4 fairy. It means any monster cannot be special summoned except for light types. So when you summon them off Ties of Brethren, it can just stop your opponent down. Play the 1 Scapegoat just for that end phase Boral Sword advantage to help really push the OTKs, which comes up quite a lot whenever you can get to it. And then 1 Double or Nothing, again for the Utopia double package. This came up a lot. It happened multiple times. Like I was saying, when you have the Luster Pendulum and Guiding Ariadne scale, you can Pendulum Summon, overlay, and then Double or Nothing. And most of the time, too, you'll have counter trap set. So when they try and stop it, you can just negate and then attack for game with Utopia. 2 Forbidden Chalice, great effect negation, plus you search it off of the Condemned Witch, so you need to include it. And of course, it's just a great card to stop plays. And then 3 Solemn Judgments. Obviously, negate almost anything. Always playable, and you don't even have to pay under Guiding Ariadne. I chose just to play 3 strikes, which in the last round I kind of wish I had 3 because I was playing against Dinosaur, and of course Judgment doesn't help too much when you're trying to stop all the effects from going off. And then this was when Warning was still at 1, so just 1 Warning. Played 3 red reboots. It was just great, especially with the double or nothing combo and pendulum summoning, because if you already had them set up in scales, in turn 1 you'd search out Solemn Judgment, turn 2 you'd search out 3 red reboot, and then that way you go to pendulum summoning, go for double or nothing, and you, if they have any trap cards, you have red reboot to just stop them completely and go for game. And then I was also playing 3 Broken Line. Hanko Chow told me to play, he also let me have them. So it's pretty much whenever a card, a spell trap card, or a monster effect is activated in the column, you can negate and destroy it. So again, you just really gotta know what your opponent's playing. If you're playing Sky Striker, you put it in the main monster zone, or whatever their multi-roll is perhaps. If you're playing Pendulum, you're gonna put them on the outside scale, so just stop those. Which came out very useful and sort of just combined Solemn Judgment and Solemn Strike, being able to stop effects or spells or traps. And I also just played the 1 Imperial Order. There is a fair amount of spells in this deck, but when you flip this over against Sky Striker, like happened to me in round 3, you can really just stop them completely and let you go for game, just attacking with your decent sized bodies as well as Honest. So that's it for the main deck. I was running 43, which I found to work very well. And now for the extra deck, I was playing 1 Luster Pendulum, the Blasting Draco Slayer, or Gnister. This came up a few times, just for pretty much when you end up getting, for some reason, Luster Pendulum and Guiding Ariadne out on the field. It can just help to remove cards, and it's got a pretty decent body, and summons out another Luster Pendulum from deck. Waking the Dragon in the side deck, so I got Blast Warrior and Ultimate Falcon, of course, good targets for it. Exciton Knight to just blow up fields when needed, or Baguska to stall. And then we got the Utopia package, so Utopia double, 2 Utopias, and a Lightning. So whatever you need to, if you need to go for the OTK, or they have some back row you need to attack over, you got Lightning. Both of them came up quite a few times throughout the tournament. And then for Scapegoat, we got Link Karibo Spider and Proxy Dragon, just to help us go into our links, which we were running Phoenix, Unicorn, and of course Boral Sword. Some removal there, and then also just go for an extra OTK with Boral Sword. So that's it for the extra deck. And then just the side deck, I chose to run 3 Inspector Border. Came up well, especially in that Dinosaur matchup game 2. Completely stopped them, as well as other games against Altergeist. Shut them down pretty well. I did choose to play Ghost Sister and Spooky Dogwood. It came up once, but it was pretty much just for time. Playing counter traps, you really are putting yourself in danger of losing in time, so it's just a way to circumvent that. Played 2 System Down for going against the Orcus decks. And then also a little Mystic Mine package with Metaverse and Mystic Mine. Again, came up against Dinosaurs, as well as obviously other decks when they build the field, and you can just go Mystic Mine, sit on your 1 Bountiful Artemis, or if that's all you have, you still get a draw off it since it's not an activated effect. And then for Sky Striker, I played 3 Curse of the Forbidden Spell, which is the counter trap, so of course you can search it, and then when your opponent activates a spell card, you can discard a spell card to negate it. And then, of course, under Guiding Ariadne, you don't have to discard for it, so you just negate the spell. And then they can't activate cards with that name of the spell for the rest of the duel. So hitting Engage in Sky Striker is really good with that, which I did twice. And then 2 Waken the Dragon, because games 2 and 3, everyone's going to be siding in Heavy Storm Duster, Cosmic Cyclone, Twin Twister to try and pop your counter traps before they go to play. And then they hit this instead. And then you bring up Ultimate Falcon or Last Warrior, and it can just really change the game plan up a lot. So that was the deck. I lost my matchup sheet, so I can't remember exactly what I was going to play. I was going to include that. I lost his word to 1 Sky Striker, Dinosaur. I lost to an Altergeist. And I don't remember what my 4th loss was. The deck performed well. All the games were pretty close, mostly almost going to time, if not into time. There was never any blowout games, which was good. Again, things I would change. Probably just running that extra strike. The deck performed really well. One time, I sometimes have bad luck with 3 elves, and I was mid-game, dropped down Pot of Duality, and I excavated 3 Ties of the Brethren onto the field, which was pretty rough, but again, it was a good day altogether, and it's unfortunate that the deck has changed now without card demise, but I guess you do have 3 warning now. Anyways, have a great day.